Hello and welcome guys. I'm your host Muhammad Hassan and today I'm going to tell you about the best 10 thrillers movies of 2022 that you need to watch. What a great year it has been for the world of cinema. Our particular area that did especially well was the real of instant thriller movies, from dark superhero thriller like The Batman to fun and sexy thriller like Don't Worry Darling. So at number 10, the movie is Gold, Zac Efron 2022. A named Zac Efron travel through the desert in the not too distant future, finds the biggest gold nugget over. While waiting for his companion to come back, he does not ever sure if he will come back. He must protect it from thieves in the face of difficult circumstances and furious talk. Gold is a suspenseful thriller about greed and extent individuals would go in order to make themselves wealthy. It is set against the backdrop of a huge, exceptional, and merciless landscape. Efron managed to showcase his true talent as an actor with his amazing lead role. At number 9, movies Windfall. When a conceited software billionaire and his wife show up for a last minute trip, the bulky of his empty vacation property turns shore. Without contacting the police, the CEO consents to give the robbers some money and move on. However, things start to get increasingly worse for the burglar, wife, and husband. The entirety of the movie is set in luxurious villa, allowing the viewer to see Windfall performed like a near three-part play in luxury. The film begins with a comedic start, however, it ultimately becomes more intense and famous. Character gets increasingly aggravated at the situation with the thematic subtext of class disparity and economic abandonment within the story. Windfall is a great example of a classic home invention thriller. At number 8, movies Men. After a tragedy, Harper goes to the country to get some much needed allocation, but as she arrives at discomfort with the town's leering and unscantily similar males involves into a fully formed nightmare. Sometime evil has awoken in surrounding forest. Thriller fans love a film that is not afraid to push boundaries or better yet, has a lack of any at all, and Men fits that criteria, with no illustrations about how abuse persists through the ages, takes a various form, and is ultimately too challenging the management. Jesse Bulky gives a superb performance in a film that makes you feel uneasy at all time. At number 7, movie is The Black Phone. Ethan Hawke stars as the film serial killer, the grabber who abducts young teenager and keep them locked in a soundproof basement. All of them meet untimely death when the grabber kidnaps 13-year-old Finney. He learns he can hear the voices of the killer pure victim with a disconnected phone on the wall starts to ring, and they are adamant about protecting Finney from experiencing what they did. With The Black Phone being one of the most anticipated spectral thriller of the year, the cat and mouse game between Finney and the grabber takes center stage. This is truly highlighted by Hawks and Thomas's chemistry within their rules. At number 6, movie is Deep Water. In this movie, well-to-do husband wins when Alan attempts to save himself from a messy divorce by allowing his wife, Melinda, to have countless affairs as long as she does not abandon their family. However, when one of his former lovers disappears, Melinda is forced to look at her husband as prime suspect. Deepwater's main characters are deeply unlikable, which is the point. In this story, there is no good guy, even though they both look meticulous, perfect on the outside. The realist approach adopted gives the film a rawness and immediacy that overshadows its weakness and keeps the audience riveted from the talk to the sex sense. At number 5, the movie is The Batman. Arguably one of the most anticipated film of the year. The Batman follows the story of a new Batman played by Robert Pattinson. With a vicious serial murderer starts killing important politicians in Gotham, Batman is compelled to look into the city covert corruption and wonder if his family is involved. Director Matt Reeves introduces the city of Gotham as its own character in a sense. A miserable town full of crime, from crime lord, a drug dealer, and psychopath. Gotham is never safe. To add to that, the new Bruce Wayne is cold, removed, and in all sense a loner. That is until the meet the bigger Stilsing Cleese and releases is can do more good if he trusts people. At number 4, the movie is The Good Nurse. The challenging and demanding night her at the ICU are pushing Amy, a compassionate nurse, to her physical and mental limitations as she battles a life-threatening heart disease. But help arrives in the form of a new nurse, Charlie. However, Amy is compelled to put her life and the safety of her children in danger in order to learn the truth. After a string of unexplained patient death spark an inquiry that names Charlie as the main suspect. The Good Nurse, based on a heartbreaking real story. The Good Nurse manages to thrill audience from start to finish with excellent direction, with a perfect example of slow burn excellence in films. It's a definite watch from this year. Please guys subscribe my YouTube channel. At number 3, the movie name is The Stranger. Two strangers, Mark and Henry, becomes close friends. This is a dream come true for Henry, who has spent his entire life working physically demanding jobs. Mark, a new buddy of his, ends up being his ally and savior, but neither of them is what they seems to be. They are each have secrets that might destroy them. Meanwhile, one of the biggest police operation in the country is closing in. A captivating true story, The Stranger is about one of Australian massive real-life manhunts for the killer of 13-year-old Daniel Mendelus. One of the most noticeable things about this thriller is how even tough the tone may change throughout the film. The rock hold that The Stranger has an audience never let up. At number 2, the movie is Don't Worry Darling. In the 1950s, Alice and Jack reside in Victory, a picture perfect town in the American desert. The men engaged in a top secret project leave even every day to an off-lift's headquarters. The wives get to enjoy the splendor, luxury, and excess of their sportly ideal paradise while their husbands are away. Alice cannot help but wonder that she's Victory as whole in her perfect extents start to show, revealing glimpses of sometime evil hiding beneath the surface. Exceeding the public expectation, Don't Worry Darling includes a great direction and acting performance from Olivia Wilde and an amazing lead role debut for Style. Style managed to keep up with the multi-talented Bugs as the two create a beautiful story full of love, reels, and suspense. At number 1, the movie is The Menu. The very recent release of Will Tracy and Seth Rogen, The Menu focused on a young couple who travel to a remote island of Eat and an exclusive restaurant where the chief has prepared a lavish menu with some shocking surprises. The menu plays on the idea of obsessions. The film begins as an ostensibly scary, thrilling, suspenseful film with odd and quick elements, but it gradually into something much wilder and is eventually taken so far even the most cynical movie goer will have their fill of this one thanks to a storyline as tight as the expectedly prepared chief cautions. Thank you so much for your watching.